Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel R.W.S lesson for kids. So today I'm gonna take up chapter 2 of ISC Sociology class 11th, research methodology. This chapter is a bit lengthy, so in this video I'll try to cover this chapter in one shot. I'll be not going through each and every topics in a very detailed way. Still I'll be covering all the things, okay? So let's start. What is research methodology? First of all, research methodology is a structured plan a researcher follows to conduct a study. Okay, fine. It includes the strategies, techniques, and tools used to collect and analyze data. The purpose of research methodology is to ensure that the study is systematic, valid, and reliable. A well defined methodology helps others understand how the research was conducted and allows them to replicate and evaluate the work efficiently. This means that research methodology is basically a structured plan. Okay, like how the means in which way the research is gonna take place. Okay, it's basically a plan through which the research is done, and why this research is done in a structured plan in order uh, to make it more valid and reliable. Okay, this is the thing of research methodology. Okay, also and also when others will know about this, they will they will able to understand how the research was done. Okay, so this is all about. Now, what is the importance of this research methodology? Points are given. It is a foundation of quality research. Okay, because we are using a method which has which is like a plan, structured plan. It has some steps. Okay, so this is a foundation of quality research. Okay, the research gains quality when we use the methods. Okay, second, it guides data collection, uh, analysis, and interpretation. Okay, simple. Improves validity and reliability, as I told you. Increase credibility of findings. Helps answer research questions accurately. Enables evaluation by readers. Basically, this is the importance. Now let's move on to the type of research methodology. So basically there are three types: qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods. So the qualitative method is used when the aim is to explore ideas like opinion or experiences. It relies on non numerical data and methods such as uh, interview, open ended surveys, and observation. So these are the things that falls under the qualitative. Okay, there's no numerical data. And in the quantitative, there is a numerical data. So the datas other than the numerical datas falls under the qualitative, and all the numerical datas that we get, that falls under the quantitative. Okay, so the quantitative, this involves collecting numerical data to test hypotheses or examine relationships between variables. It includes the techniques like survey with fixed responses, okay, experiments, and statistical analysis. And now the mixed method is like it combines with both qualitative and quantitative methods to provide a broader understanding of the research problems. Fine. Well, so this is all about. Uh, so remember it like this, that qualitative means opinions and experiences. Okay, and also remember that interview. Okay, through interview we get the opinions and experiences. Then for the quantitative, remember the numerical data. Okay. Then for the mixed method, both. Now let's move on to this social research. What is social research? Pause this video and think by yourself, what is actually social research? This is really a common term. I hope you're able to understand this. Okay, so social research is the scientific study of society. Remember, scientific study of society and human behavior. It investigates social problems and issues, identifies their causes, and suggests solutions. It helps social scientists understand how and why people behave in society. Okay, so this is basically the social research is basically the scientific study of society and human behavior. Okay, because in a society humans live, so this is a scientific study of society, means like the overall behavior of that particular community or the society, which also like comes human behavior, and it investigates social problems and issues. In society we have several problems, like for example child labor. Okay, then many other. So these are social problems like poverty. Okay, all of these are the social problems and social issues. We also study all this, and we discusses the causes and the solutions of these social issues or problems. It helps social scientists understand how and why people behave in society. So when we investigate a problem, we are able to understand the causes, and when we go more deep into that, we are able to understand how and why, okay, the people of that particular society behaves in such a way. Okay, this is all about a social research. Now let's move on to the importance of social research. So there are 8 points. The first one is knowledge expansion. Okay, so social research is crucial for uh, expanding the boundaries of your knowledge. Okay, it enables us to examine, confirm, and disapprove existing theories and contributes to the establishment of new ones. So basically, when we do a social research, we are able to expand our knowledge more, and also we are able to examine the existing knowledge that we know or might be some other people knows. Okay, so this is the thing. The second is practical solution for social betterment. Okay, so social research enable us to identify mm, uh, measures that can lead to societal improvements. Okay, it investigates complex problems and offers insights into their nature and scopes, which can be applied to real world situations. Well, so through this social research, we observe the society, we try to understand the society, and by this, we get a more practical knowledge about the society. Hence, we are able to give more practical solutions for this social betterment. Number three, commercial relevance. Now, what is this? Industries, businesses, and commercial establishment can benefit from social research. How? As it provides valuable information about societal trends and consumer behavior. And this information can be used to make informed decisions and improve their performance in the market. Right? This is all about. Number four is informed policy making. Social research equips administrators with the necessary data and facts to formulate relevant and effective policies, plans, and programs. Through this social research, the researchers are able to know more better about the society, and they are able to explain that to the administrators. After that, the administrators, when they understand the society in a better way, they are able to plan policies and rules and laws for that particular society or that particular community, okay, according to their choice. So this is all about. Next is the educational values. Social research can be used for educational purpose and contribute to the overall growth and development of the society. Okay, this is very easy. Next comes the promotion of interdisciplinary studies. Now this means that social research emphasizes the interdependence of different disciplines and encourage interdisciplinary approaches. This fosters cooperation and collaboration among scholars, leading to better and more comprehensive solution to societal problems. Okay, then comes the professional and academic opportunities. Social research basically offers job opportunities for intellectuals in various industries and research departments. Additionally, pursuing PhD, okay, in social research can lead to academic recognition and career advancement. Okay, this is one of the thing. And then last is comes the intellectual satisfaction and innovation. Okay, so for philosophers, scientists, and creative professionals, social research can provide intellectual stimulation, right? Because they're learning more about the society, and as they learn more about the society, they are gaining more knowledge, and the subject is becoming more complex, and it also helps them to gain more knowledge and, you know, intellectual stimulation, okay, and satisfaction too. It enables things to explore new ideas and establish innovations, new things, okay, innovation styles and trends in their respective fields, right? This is all about. Now let's move on to the methods of sociology. Well, so see, sociology as a social science has been trying to develop its own method of study. Okay, sociology has to face greater problems in evaluating a, is its methods. Okay, in comparison with other social sciences, because see, because man's social life is very complex and it's multi-faced. Okay, it is highly a challenging task for the sociologist to collect, analyze, and synthesis to finally generalize the social problems, okay, which are too numerous, complex, and, you know, very difficult. So these are like some of the methods, okay, through which the research is done. Okay, now what are the methods? Comparative, historical, statistical, case study, and the functional. So what is comparative method? So in this comparative method, we basically compare two different societies or two different groups. Okay, for example, uh, if we take like in two societies, let's take two societies example, like urban area and rural area. Okay, Now, there's a problem of social isolation in the urban area. Okay, so in this thing, we will use the comparative method. We will compare two places, the urban areas and the rural area. Why? Then we'll see that why only in the urban area there's more social isolation people faces. Okay, so after that we'll be able to see the difference that in the urban area people are more busy with their works, they don't have time for their families, they don't have time for their children. Okay, even they don't have the time to relax, sit and reflect back. Okay, but in the rural area people are more connected to each other. Okay, they're they're having enough time to spend with the nature. Okay, to spend with their families, friends and everyone. So with this comparative method we're able to understand this particular social issue which is known as social isolation, why does this particular thing happens, right? Through this comparative method we're able to understand. Now let's suppose take another example, which is let's suppose it is in the same area, but now it differs in the family structure or the family planning. There's a joint family and there is a nuclear family. Fine. Now let's take again the same thing, social isolation. Now what do you think? Will the joint family will face more social isolation or the nuclear family? Obviously the nuclear family, because they're and this will happen more with the childrens who are living there. In the joint family, childrens will get more members with them. Maybe their parents are not there for them, but other members may stay at home and accompany them, right? But in the case of the nuclear family, parents are moving out for their work on the but the child is living alone. Okay, which might lead to a sense of isolation, and the child can become a bit introvert. Okay, so this is the thing, we're comparing two groups or two different societies. Okay, this is the comparative method. Now let's move on to the historical method. Now what is historical method? This is basically the study of past events. Okay, like past events or the institutions of the past civilization for the purpose of finding the origin, okay, of the contemporary social life, and thus understanding its nature and working. Because we know the way uh, our ancestors, okay, used to live, okay, or used to work, it's still somewhat a bit passed on to us too, right? So this is what the historical methods studies. Okay, or like let's suppose take an example, like in a place and in a society there's a bomb blast. Okay, and which was done by a very near or a friend community nearby. Okay, so as this event occurred in the past, so the the current population or the current people living there will actually have a bit, they will be more wiser, right? They will never trust other people's easily. Okay, because after trusting, once they have faced something very difficult. Okay, this is just for example. Now let's move on to the statistical method. What is statistical method? In simple way, it's just like, you know, a collection of the numerical data. Okay, it is used to measure social phenomena mathematically. Now let's take an example. because with the examples you understand much better. So let's suppose take the example of social stratification. Okay. uh, so why this social stratification happens in a society? So here we need to uh, understand that might be in that society there's no equality among the people, might be that there is no uh, you know equal distribution of the wages, or maybe there the women's are undervalued. Okay, so these are the factors, these are the causes which can happen. Now for this, we may go, or the researchers may go for a survey. They may go for a survey. Okay, and they'll uh, they will talk with the peoples of that particular area where there is a problem of social stratification, and they will collect the numerical data of how many percentage is what how many percentage of the people actually agree with this factor, is with this cause inequality. We just thought, no, that might be there's an inequality. So what is the percentage? Okay, how many percentage of people actually faces this inequality in their family, in the wages distribution, and also how many women's, okay, they are undervalued. Okay, so this is how we will collect the numerical data. Okay, so this is a statistical method. Now let's move on to the case study method. So case study method in sociology, case study method is a holistic treatment of a subject. The case study may make use of various techniques such as interviews, questionnaires, observations, okay, then the histories of the past events, okay, and the relevant documents of all kinds, and also like all the informations, okay, about the case to study it more properly. So let's suppose take example of poverty. There's a social problem known as poverty. Now why does this occurs? Now the researchers move on to the slum areas, or okay, slum areas, let's suppose. They observe the area. They may they can conduct a bit survey, a small survey. Okay, they can take interviews too. Okay, so these are the things that they will do to actually understand why the poverty is occurring there. Okay, or in this case study method they can even study a past event that occurred. Okay, they can also study a past event that occurred, because somehow that can also uh, cause this particular social problem, a social issue, poverty, right? So this is known as case study, where they are actually getting exposed to the practical life, means they are going to visit the slum area or the poor families, or they are studying the past events. Fine, this is all about the case study method. Now let's move on to the functional method. So the functional method, uh, it is it has been given greater emphasis during recent times in sociological studies in comparison with other social in comparison with other sociological methods. Functionalism can be more understood as a method of analysis and interpretation than as a method of investigation. Functionalism refers to the study of social phenomena from the point of view of the functions that particular institutions or social structures, such as class, serves in a society. Fine. So let's suppose, for example, Now, as the term came, social institution, as I told you about the functional method. So, what are social institutions? Let's suppose, in simple words, like the family or the government, even the religion, okay, the schools, universities, or are the social institutions because it help peoples or the publics to live their life in a proper way in this society. Okay, so these are social institutions. Now, in the functional method, we see how this social institution means what are the things that these social institutions have. Okay, service that they provide in the society. So, okay, so let's suppose, for example, now there's a problem of children or the students not behaving properly. Okay, so now we will see why this children and students not behaving properly. We will see the education system, which is also a social institution, as I told you. Okay, we'll see how the students are actually managed, what they are being taught in the schools. We will see that that is one social institution. We will see the families from where they comes, how the family is actually the way of their lifestyle and everything. Family is also social institution. Okay, are they getting what uh, they need? Are they getting all the things that they need from the family or the schools, or is there something that is lacking, and that for that only they are not behaving properly? Then we will see the government structure, which is also a social institution. How the government is the government taking proper actions for it? Okay, or there if or is there any law that is actually very disturbing them? Okay, in their educational system or anything. Okay, so all these institutions, their functions, we'll see all of these things, and we will try to understand a particular social problem. It can be anything. It can be also the poverty. Okay, let's suppose that take the example of poverty. Why in a particular community or in a particular society the poverty is more, it's increasing? So maybe there's no employment, there's less employment opportunities. So we may investigate the government, or we may see whether the government is working properly or not. Okay, the education system, we may also see how the education system is there equality in that education system or in the job opportunities, because all these are social institution of a particular society, right? So we must see the institutions how they are working, because the social institutions are very important for a society. Without this, the society can't work properly. So anything that occurs in a society, the social institution might be investigated, or might be seen properly, because maybe the social institutions are, you know maybe not, it's actually affects the social life of the people, and it causes problems too in a society. So this is all about the functional methods. Now there's one more method, that is the scientific method. Now the reason behind writing it separately is because this method consists of 6 steps, as I have written. Now let's see the 6 steps in the scientific methods. In a simple way, if I say you, in this scientific method, we understand a problem very deeply. Okay, we understand the behaviors of the people, we understand the society, their their cultures, their rituals, and everything. Okay, so we see the social institutions that are present there. Everything, basically everything is covered in this method. And now we'll see how, means the process is taken. Okay, the first is the formulation of the problem. now. See, this means a casual observation and an idea regarding the existing amount of knowledge on that particular issue. In the first step, you just need to see the problem. What is the problem? Like, for example, take the example of poverty again. Okay, what is the problem? Poverty. Why is it working? Why it is increasing? So we'll just take a simple idea. We'll think, why is it working like that? We'll try to figure out some of the, we'll think some of the factors or the reason why this poverty is there. Now, maybe there in that particular society there's inequality in the education system, in the employment, okay, and uh, there's no proper distribution of the wages. All this can be the factors that are responsible for this poverty. Okay, so in the first step, we just observe the particular thing, or we just trying to think what can be the causes behind this social problem. This is the first step, which is the formulation of the problem. Then second comes the formulation of hypothesis. Now here, when the problem uh, is to be tackled is known, okay, the first step, we know that these are the things that can be responsible for the problem. We know we must have some idea to the new aspect. Now in this, we will form a hypothesis. We know that this can be the causes, so now we'll think how can we actually prove it, or how, you know uh, we can actually prove our facts. So we'll write in a rough paper that this is the problem, these are the factors that I think can be. So with this, I formulated a hypothesis, means a rough work of that particular problem. Okay, so this is known as hypothesis. Now we are thinking that how can I test it? How can I test this hypothesis, whether it's true or not, whether the thing I think is true, whether it is actually true or not. So next, we're gonna test the hypothesis, means the rough work. The third comes the observation and collection of data. Here we are actually testing the hypothesis. Okay, sorry, not testing, means we are collecting the datas. After collection, we will test. So here we are collecting the datas. Maybe like for the example poverty. So for the poverty, we thought that this can be the causes. Now we'll go to a place where the poverty is actually occurring or it's increasing. We'll move to a place. We'll move to in such an area, like for example, we will visit poor families or slum areas where we can actually observe it, right? Because they have a poor, poor shelter. Maybe they're hungry, not getting food. All of these things. They're unemployed. Okay, their health is not good. So we will observe all these things, and we will collect data from them through like interviews. Okay, or through questionnaires, through surveys, we can collect the informations. And after collecting, we'll be able to know that whether the facts I thought is true or not. Okay, so if they say yes, there's a lot of inequality in our society, when will the researcher will conduct the interview, he or she will understand the things. Okay, basically we will get a practical exposure. The next in the analysis and the synthesis. After the data have been collected, they must be processed and analyzed in order to draw a proper uh, inference this requires. Okay, means classification of the data. This means arranging the data in different groups or classes according to the similarities or dissimilarities. Here we'll basically test. We will like things, the concepts that we have drawn in our brain after the interviews and the observations, we will write in a rough paper again. Okay, I'm trying to explain you it very easily. So we will write all the things in a rough paper again, and we will try to connect the causes with the responses that I got from that the researchers got from the people. Okay, so the researcher will try to connect everything. Okay, basically he will sit with a rough work. Okay, he will analyze it. Okay, he will test this hypothesis, means the factors that he thought can be and the responses that he got from the peoples. So in this process he will connect all those things and he will test the hypothesis. Okay, next is generalization. After the data have been collected, processed and analyzed, that it's correct, fine, the researcher have to draw broader influence or conclusion or like generalization of this particular thing. Means he have to make it more easier for the readers or for different publics, because in the analysis part he has maybe done the rough work in a very complicated way. Now he will do it in a more easy way, in a more structured way. Okay, and in the last, formulation of theory and laws. Here when the scientist or the researchers has succeeded in describing and explaining the relationship between various factors with the problems, he has formulated a theory. When these factors have been tested and accepted by the scientists, okay, as true, this theory may be uh, regarded as a law. Fine. So after generalization, when uh, he has he has successfully done, he has successfully described the relation between the factors and the social problem, and different scientists have also accepted this, that particular thing or that particular hypothesis will become a theory. And after the confirmation from different scientists, it will further become a law. Fine, this is the thing, and this is all about the scientific method. So let me tell you once again: formulation of the problem, just seeing the problem and thinking what can be the reason behind this problem. Second is hypothesis, creating a rough work means somewhat a bit connecting the problem with the causes. We'll think about the causes and we'll create a hypothesis, means a rough work. Next, we'll actually gain all those datas from a practical exposure where the social problem is actually occurring. So we will go for observation and collection of data. And the fourth, we will analyze and synthesis. After collection of the data, we will again sit for a rough work where we will connect the problem with the causes and the responses that we got from the people. We will connect the problem with the causes. After that, in a generalization, we will sit and write the problem. Basically, we will construct the problem in a more structured way. We will try to explain the problems, why it is occurring in a more structured way, so the other people or the readers or the common publics can understand it. Okay, and in the sixth, when the scientists or the researchers has successfully you know has like described the problem, that will the hypothesis, basically he has successfully explained the hypothesis, it's true, that hypothesis will become a theory, and after approval of the different scientists to that particular theory, that theory will become a law. So hypothesis, theory, and ultimately law. Fine, done. So now let's move on to data collection. So what is data collection? First of all, see, in sociology, data collection techniques are the methods used to gather information about individuals, groups, or social phenomena. It is an essential like component, okay, component of research, and it allows researchers to collect accurate and reliable data that can be used to answer research questions, test hypotheses, and take more better decisions. Okay, this is data collection. Now there are two types: qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative means the data that are numerical based. Okay, it's more like this particular thing, the type of research method, it's more like that. Okay, so quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative means numerical data, and qualitative means the opinions and the experiences, okay, which we get by the interviews, questionnaires, okay, surveys, all those things. Okay, so numerical data, the quantitative, qualitative, non-numerical data, which includes the opinion and the experiences of the people. Fine. Now what are the tools of data collection? So there is basically two types here: primary tools of data collection and secondary tools of data collection. Now this part is a bit long. As you can see, I have written it in a very short way, but there is something. So primary tools includes interview, questionnaires, survey, observation. Fine, these are primary tools. The secondary tools includes content analysis, research journals, or which is also known as documentary research, internet web sheets, organizational reports. So here we are actually in the primary tools, we're actually collecting the data through interaction with the people. Okay, in the interview we are interacting with people, in the questionnaires we are distributing papers to the public, then we are getting the datas. Survey also the same thing. Observation, we are observing the practical life. Okay, so here we are actually interacting with the people somewhat. And in the secondary tool we are getting the datas from the existing theories, or from the existing knowledge. Okay, like the research journal, the journal is already published and we are reading it, and we're getting the datas. Organizational reports are published and we are getting the reports, we are getting all the datas from there. Okay, internet websites and everything, content analysis, all of this. Now now we will go through the advantages and the disadvantages of each of these tools. First, let's move on to the interview. What is interview? Interview is when um, we have a direct interaction. Okay, basically the researcher with the respondent. They can be conducted in person, over the phones, through video conference. Okay, and the interview can be structured. Okay, it can be semi structured or it can be unstructured. Okay, means basically the questions that the interviewer gonna ask to the respondent, it can be structured, it can be semi structured, or it can be unstructured. Fine. Now what are the advantages of interview? Okay, in the interview, now see, I haven't included the advantages and the disadvantages in this note, but make sure you are noting it down in your copy while I'll be telling the points. Fine. So Advantages of interview. In the interview, we are getting more depth knowledge about the topic, right? It enables interviewer to ask clarifying questions and delve deeper into the responses. We get more deeper information in the interviews, right? Second is non-verbal informations, means the interview can observe the respondent's body language, facial expression, which can provide valuable sights into the interviewers. Okay, sorry, like the respondent's personality and the attitude, and it will also help more in getting the information more properly, more accurately. Next is the flexibility. Interviews can be adapted through the specific context, and interviewers allowing for more personalized questions. Okay, here interview can be done through a phone call, even a video call, even face to face. Okay, and you can be more relaxed while a interview. It can be, as I told, it can be structured, can be semi structured, can be unstructured, so no problem with that. You can easily speak out, but you know about that. Okay, and that will be more that will add more quality to the research. Okay, now, high response rate. In the interview there is high response rate, right? As compared to like different other things like questionnaires and all. Okay, clarification. Interviewers can clarify any misunderstanding or like from the respondents. Okay, so it basically ensures accurate information. While interview, we are able to clarify more. Okay, because there is no misunderstanding of the question or even misunderstanding of the response, because they both are gonna clear it and will lead to a accurate information. Now there are also disadvantages of interview. What is that? It's time consuming. Conducting interview, especially with large number of people, can be very time consuming, right? Obviously it's costly. Now why it's costly? Because the interviewer have to move to a different place for conducting an interview, right? Have to travel somewhere, or like the interviewer have to uh, take training of how to actually take a good interview. The next one is interviewer bias. Interviewer can unintentionally influence the responses through their way of questioning. This is also a thing, this is also a factor, right? The way you will question, in the tone basically that you'll question the person or the respondent, in the same way you're gonna get the answer or the response, which might not be relating the actual problem. Okay, then comes the potential dishonesty. Interviewers may not always provide truthful answers due to you know social desirability bias or desire to present themselves. Okay, next comes the limited generalizability. Finding from interviews may not be easily generalized to a large population, because in the interview two peoples are talking in different topics, and sometimes it's overlapping with another informations, so it sometimes becomes a bit difficult for the general public to understand, right? Or sometimes the term which they're using, it is a bit hard to understand sometimes. So this is all about the advantages and the disadvantages of interview. Now let's move on to the questionnaires. Now what is questionnaire? This is a tool used to collect primary data by gathering the required uh, information from the individual by asking them the questions and giving them suitable prompts to conduct the study. Okay, a major example is the feedback. Okay, from feedback form which is circulated after the completion of an online purchase. While you purchase something, after that you get a feedback form where you need to actually give them uh, feedback. Okay, where they will understand the customer's service, how it was, and the product's quality, whether the customers are liking it or not, right? Like sometime we get the from the apps, rate this app. I mostly get from the Google Meet. They ask to rate. Okay, this is all about this questionnaires. Now let's move on to the advantages of the questionnaires. It's cost effective. Questionnaires are generally less expensive, right, than any other data collection methods like interview or uh, focus group, especially when distributing to a large sample. Okay, now next one is it has a wide reach. The questionnaires basically can be distributed easily to a large number of people, including those in geographically diverse location. Okay, which ensures data collection from broader population. Okay, next is standardized data. It provides standardized question, ensuring consistency and facilitating easy comparison of responses. Hmm? Next comes the protection of privacy. They uh, offers privacy to the respondents, encouraging them to be more open and honest in their responses. Next is flexibility. Questionnaires can be adapted to collect both qualitative and quantitative data, right? Now, what are the disadvantages of questionnaires? Low response rate. A common issue with questionnaire is that a significant number of people may not return them, leading to a potential bias sample. Okay, sometimes people ignore it. Potential Next was potential for biases. Respondents may not accurately reflect their true opinion or may misunderstand the questions. May misunderstand the question because here there's a paper in front of you where you're reading it. There's no people, there is no person who is explaining you the question. You may misunderstood the question, right? Leading to a biases or inaccurate data. Next is limited depth of information. Close-ended questions in the questionnaires, okay, is commonly used, may not allow for details or you know more better responses. Then next is lack of context. It can be challenging to understand the context behind responses. Means the situation means like why the person has responded in such a way, especially with limited interaction with the respondents. Okay, next is not suitable for all population. It's not suitable because the individual with low literacy level or those who have a difficulty understanding written instructions can this can be a bit difficult for them, which will lead to you know data collection from a very less communities. Next is survey. So survey are conducted time to time by government agencies or businesses to gather relevant information from general public. They are typically collected from a sample population, later to be generalized for the whole population. Advantages of survey. The first is gathering a large amount of data quickly. Fine. Survey allows researchers to collect information from A large and diverse sample size enabling them to identify trends and patterns within a population. It's cost effective and efficient. Compared to other research methods like in depth interviews, survey can be relatively inexpensive and time saving too, especially when administrated online. Fine. It is more flexible. It can be conducted through various channels, including online platforms, mail, or face to face interactions, offering flexibility in reaching different population too. Now, the next is qualitative and quantitative data. Survey can be designed to collect both numerical data and open ended responses, providing a comprehensive understanding to the topic. The next is basically the accessibility for remote data collection. Online and mobile surveys can be easily distributed to participants regardless of their location, facilitating remote data collection. Now, disadvantages of the survey: potential for biases. Again, self reported data in survey can be influenced by social desirability biases, okay, or recall biases, basis, and other factors maybe, okay, will lead to the inaccuracy of the report. Low response rate. It can limit the generability of survey findings as a sample may not accurately represent the target population. Next is limited depth and context. It may not capture the motivation or the context of respondents' answer, potentially leading to superficial understanding. Interpretation and misunderstanding. Respondents may misinterpret questions or provide inaccurate answers due to unclear wording or lack of context. The next is inability of capturing nonverbal, okay, which we get from the interview. Survey can lack the ability to observe nonverbal communications, plus the body language, the facial expressions, which can be important in understanding respondents' true feeling and intentions. Fine. Let's move on to the observation. Here, the researchers often observe the direct information required for the study. It acts as a fundamental and the basic method of gathering information about anything. But it must be kept in mind that the observation is not just seeing things, okay, but it is carefully watching the things and trying to understand them in depth in order to get some more better information about them. Now, what is the advantage of observation? Now, advantages of observation: direct data collection. Observation provides first hand information, right? Minimizing reliance on self reporting and potentially reducing the biases. Okay. Natural setting. Okay. Next is, like, unlike experiments, observation can be conducted in the natural environment, leading to more authentic behavior. Okay, and it adds more quality to the research. Next is real time insights. Observation captures behavior and events as they unfolds, offering immediate understanding. Right. The next is behavioral understanding. It can reveal patterns of behavior that might not be apparent through other methods. Okay. Next is study of complex behavior. They are useful for studying interactions and processes that are difficult to replicate in controlled settings, which is only understandable more properly in the natural setting only. Now, there are also disadvantages. The first is observer biases. The observer's own, perspectives and the expectations or interpretations can influence how they perceive and record data, potentially, somewhat changing the result of the observation. Because we know that every person have their own perspective and interpretation skill, right? Then next is it's time consuming. Observational studies can be lengthy. Okay, it can be lengthy, requires significant time to observe a sufficient amount of data. Next is ethical concerns. It is very, you know it's very common, like the privacy issues that people have. Okay, and the potential for participants discomfort or anxiety due to being watched means continuously. Okay, then reactivity. Participants may alter their behavior when they know they are being watched. Fine. Or like they are being observed, leading to artificial or non unnatural actions. Fine. Then comes the limited scope. It may not be suitable. The observation basically may not be suitable for studying attitudes, opinions, or internal states, as these are not directly observable. Okay. Now let's move on to the secondary tools. Fine. Here it involves the use of existing data for the purpose of the study. Okay, for example, to examine the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on the income and consumption of Indian citizens, researchers would utilize the data collected by the government of India. Okay. The existing data utilized to answer the variety sets of questions arising in the later years for the purpose of the study, other than for which the data was collected initially. So this method includes the examining published materials like the book, journals, government reports, online resources, as well as analyzing data from previous studies or research. Now, see, this sometime might not actually relate with the present situation. This is one of the disadvantage of it. Okay, that the previous research may not actually help for the research of this modern or the present generation, or the present society, and sometime it may work. Okay, so yeah, the first one is the content analysis. This means examining or interpreting the media content. Example like the news, newspaper, books, website, texts, okay, speeches, videos that you see in the YouTubes, to identify patterns and themes related to the social problems. Content analysis. We are, taking in the contents. Now, what is the advantage of this content analysis? Systematic and replicable. It follows a structured approach, allowing the allowing for consistent and reliable result that can be replicated by other researchers. Okay. Next is no requirement for the direct interactions. It does not require a direct interaction with the participants, making it a good choice for studying sensitive topics or situations where direct observations might be difficult or unethical. Okay. The persons may not reply properly. Okay. Cost effective. Yes, really. Content analysis can be conducted with, it's very readily available materials, making it a relatively inexpensive research method. Next is flexibility. Okay, it can be applied in various forms of communications, including text, images, audios, videos across different fields. It's flexible, really very flexible. Right. Next is the historical and cultural insights. It can reveal patterns and trends over time, providing valuable uh, historical and cultural insights. Right. Yes. So I think it's a very good thing. Content analysis. Now there are also disadvantages of it. It is time consuming. Okay, it's time consuming. Um, Analyzing large volume of data can be lengthy process, especially when using manual coding. Okay. Next is subjective and biases. Interpreting the meaning of content can be subjective, potentially leading to researcher biases and affecting the validity of findings. Next is data limitations. Content analysis primarily relies on existing textual or visual data, which may not always provide a complete picture of the phenomena being studied. Next is reductive. Focusing on specific words or phrases may oversimplify some of the complex messages or complex situations. Okay. Next comes the potential for errors. Mistakes can occur during the coding and interpretations process, especially with complex or you know uh, a detailed data. Next comes the documentary research or the research journal. Journal published by the several institutions can be a reliable source of the secondary method, as already several studies have been performed and published using the same set of data. If an individual wants to conduct a study, journals are a good place to start in order to collect and prepare the data set for further evaluation. Now, what are the advantages of it? Are um, getting new knowledge. Journals articles are a primary way to share research finding with the academic community. Okay, peer reviews. The peer review process uh, help to ensure the uh, quality and validity of published research. Okay. Next is the credibility. Academic journals are generally considered a credible source of information. Next is the access to current research. Journals articles are often the most up to date source for information in a given field. Fine. Now, the disadvantages of the research journals. It's time consuming. The publication process can be lengthy. Articles may not reflect the most current research. May not. Okay, sometime it lacks some of the informations because the current situation is very, the society is very dynamic. That is the reason. Next, it's costly. Assessing journal articles can be expensive, especially for individual or institution with limited budgets. Next is specialized knowledge. Means it's very hard for the general public to actually understand the the journal. Next is the potential bias. While peer review helps, biases can still exist in the selection of articles for publication. Fine. Next is the internet websites. In today's world, The right to information is a basic right that every individual is aware of. Fine. And in today's world, everything is available in the internet websites. Every organization, everything having their own websites, right? From there, we can get a lot of information, right? So, what are the advantages of this internet websites? Internet at our fingertip. Websites provide instant access to a vast amount of information or visual, uh, virtually any topic, uh, making research and learning easy and efficient. Fine. Global connections. Next is global connection. Websites facilitates communication and connection with people worldwide through social media, emails and video conference. Okay. Now next is e-commerce and business opportunities. Websites enables businesses to reach a global audience, sell products and service online. They also conduct various commercial transactions. Next is entertainment and leisures. Websites offer a wide range of entertainment opportunities, including streaming movies and music, online gaming, and social networking. Simple. Next is um, convenience in daily life. Websites simplify many daily tasks, such as online banking, shopping, and accessing information by saving time and efforts. Fine. All of this. Now, the disadvantages of internet websites. Information overload. The volume of information available online can be overwhelming and making it difficult to find reliable and accurate data. Next is privacy part. Here, the websites may collect users' data, rising concern about privacy and the potential for misuse of personal informations. Then is misinformation and fake news, right? It can be a source of misinformation, fake news, rumors, okay, which can spread quickly and have serious consequences. Okay. So even though it's a great, area, it's a great thing getting information from the internet website, but sometimes the informations are fake too. Okay. Next is cost of development and maintenance. While websites can be cost effective, the initial development and ongoing maintenance can be expensive, especially for complex sheets. Fine. The last one is negative impact on mental health. Excessive internet use and particularly social media can contribute to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. Okay. The last one is the organizational report. Several companies in the markets, NGOs, publishes the research reports. Okay. Market service and financial markets for public eyes to give an insight into the society, a market, or financial of a company. The reports can be a reliable source. Okay, so what is the advantage of the organizational reports? The first one is improved communication and transparency. Reports clearly convey informations, fostering better understanding and transparency within the organization. Next is enhanced decision making. Reports provide data driven insights, enabling information, enabling informed and efficient decision making at all levels. Okay. The next one is performance assessment and monitoring. Reports track progress, identify areas of success and failure, and facilitates performance evaluation. Next is accountability and oversight. Reports established clean lines of responsibility and allows for monitoring of performance against goals. Simple. Next is knowledge sharing and learning. Reports can be valuable source of information for okay future references and can be used to identify best practices. Now, what are the disadvantages of organizational reports? It includes it is time consuming and mm, resource intensive. Creating comprehensive report can be a lengthy process requiring significant time and resource. Next is potential for errors and biases. Reports can contain errors due to inaccurate data or biases interpretations. Third is it's costly to produce. The cost of research, data collection, and report writing can be a costly process. Okay. Next is it's difficult in implementing recommendations. Recommendations from reports can be um, difficult to implement due to various factors. The last one is it may not capture qualitative aspects. Qualitative. Financial reports, for example, may focus on uh, like quantitative aspects and neglect the qualitative aspects that are also important. Okay, so this was all about the chapter. I've gone through everything, so I think it's a good one shot. So hope you all understood it. If you have any doubts, comment. uh, so I'll try my best to answer you there in the comment section. So yes, this is all about the chapter. Thank you for listening to me with patience, and keep smiling, stay healthy. Bye bye.